California nursing. What's the hype? Stay tuned as we explore the places to go and what and why makes California a great place for nurses. I'm Emma Pointer from TTT Nursing, travel nurse, coach, and author. I'm always posting new content for travel nurses. If that's something you're interested in, go ahead and hit subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell to be notified when I post new content. Location, location, location. California is a big state. Let's start by talking about location and what it means for travel nursing in California. If you want to travel nurse in California, there's a couple different things you need to look at. What kind of lifestyle are you looking for? What kind of money are you trying to make? What kind of money are you trying to spend? We're going to go through some major areas in California and look at those aspects for each of them. Are you craving the notorious California weather and glamour? If so, then Southern California might be the place for you, in cities like LA and San Diego. The good news is travel nurses are usually in super high demand in these cities. There's plenty of jobs to go around. So if this is where you want to go, it's probably going to be pretty easy to get there. The only issue is what happens when you get there. The pay is going to be not so good. The cost of living is going to be super high. Because these are such high demand cities, they have no problem filling vacancies because everybody wants to go there. That means they can get away with paying less. Southern California is notorious for having lower pay than Northern California and Central Valley. However, you may make up for this with the lifestyle and just the opportunity of having the chance to live there. But all in all, a contract in Southern California usually isn't going to be a bank builder. Do you care less about how you spend your time off work and more about your paycheck? If so, you'll want to check out the Central Valley. Places like Fresno and Bakersfield are typically going to be better for the bank account with their higher pay and their lower cost of living. The one major downfall here is that you're not going to have the California lifestyle that most people are after. These cities are mainly agricultural cities, so there's probably not going to be much to do on your days off. If that doesn't matter for you and you're strictly looking for a paycheck, you might consider checking them out. However, number one on my list of most desirable travel nursing in California would have to be Sacramento. You get it all in the Sacramento area. It has a higher pay, a lower cost of living, and it still offers that great California lifestyle. To me, this is ideal. However, I'm not the only one who thinks it's ideal, so sometimes contracts can be difficult to land. The competition is high. If you do end up being lucky enough to get a contract there, it's the place to be. It really can be the best of both worlds. Pro tip, sometimes hospitals in the Central Valley will offer the option for a 48-hour work week. If you're feeling up for it, this may be a good way to make a lot of money in a short amount of time. A good balance between Southern California and the Central Valley is the San Francisco and Bay Area. With the San Francisco and Bay Area contracts, the cost of living is still pretty high. However, usually the pay there is high as well. So it kind of compensates and it evens out. So you get that evening out of the pay and the cost of living, and you also get that California lifestyle that everybody's looking for. So which is more important to you when considering travel contracts? Do you look mostly at pay, or do you favor location? If you prioritize location, put location in the comments below. If you're after that paycheck, write money honey in the comments below. So now that location is out of the way, let's talk about California in general and why it is a great state to practice in. So let's move on to licensure. Licensure in California can be difficult because it's not a compact state. Here's what you need to know. California kind of has a more difficult process than other boards of nursing do. They also can tend to take a while. So with a California license, people typically say it takes between 1 to 3 months. Now, this is depending on how backed up they are at the Board of Nursing and what time of year it is, because when new grads are applying for their licenses, they tend to get backed up. Some people choose to expedite the process by appearing in person at the Board of Nursing, doing live fingerprint scans, and hand delivering their application. Depending on how far you live from California and if you're planning a vacation in the future, this may or may not be a good option for you. One final note about California has to do with their labor laws. In California, you're typically quoted for a blended rate. Their labor laws state that any hours consecutively worked after 8 hours must be paid for time and a half. In your 12-hour shift, the first 8 hours of your shift will be your base rate, and then the last 4 will be at time and a half. Usually when you're presented with a pay rate, they'll average out what you're making throughout your 12-hour shift and give you a blended rate for each hour that you work. This usually doesn't make a huge difference, but it is something to be aware of when looking at pay packages. California is one of the only states to have mandated nurse-to-patient ratios. You may also find that due to stricter policies with the labor laws in the state, that you'll be more likely to get consistent breaks and meal times. So I actually want to go through the most recent data for the set mandated nurse-to-patient ratios in California because I just think they're so amazing. So with trauma patients in the ER and in the operating room, your ratios are going to be 1-to-1. For intensive and critical care, neonatal intensive care, critical care patients in the ER, post-anesthesia recovery, and labor and delivery, your ratio is going to be 1-to-2. For step down, your ratio is going to be 1-to-3. So for antepartum, postpartum couplets, pediatric, telemetry, ER, and other specialty care, your ratio is going to be 1-to-4. For med-surg, your ratio is going to be 1-to-5. And finally, for postpartum women only and psychiatric, you're going to be looking at a 1-to-6 ratio. Now, depending on where you're from and what you're used to, these ratios could be a game changer. So what do you think? Is California on your list of destinations for travel nursing? Let me know in the comments below. Do you have a friend who's interested in travel nursing in California? Go ahead and share this video with them. Are you excited about travel nursing in places like California but not sure where to start? My ebook will take you through the process step by step and teach you everything you need to know about being a travel nurse. I'll put the link for it in the description below. Also, consider joining our exclusive Facebook group, TTT Nursing, where you can get individualized free coaching from me and help along the way. I look forward to seeing you there.